Picture a world where glamour was a mask, where one man built a dazzling empire on the edge of desire, only for it to crumble under the weight of secrets too dark to stay buried. Hugh Hefner, Playboy's mastermind, the rebel who rewrote the rules of pleasure, the icon who promised freedom but left a trail of broken lives. From a repressed childhood to a mansion teeming with scandal, his story is a roller coaster of ambition, betrayal, and chilling revelations. Hidden cameras, secret vaults, and whispers of coercion paint a legacy far removed from the glossy pages of his magazine. Buckle up for a 20-minute deep dive into the life of Hugh Hefner, a tale of charisma, controversy, and a darkness that still haunts Hollywood. If this grabs you, hit that like button, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe so we can keep peeling back the layers of history's biggest legends. Let's step into the shadows of the Playboy empire. Born April 9, 1926, in Chicago, Illinois, Hugh Marston Hefner grew up in a home where joy was rationed like wartime bread. His parents, devout Methodists, were a schoolteacher mother and an accountant father who saw affection as a sin, movies as frivolous, and anything sensual as outright forbidden. In their cold, rule-bound house, young Hugh rebelled quietly, sketching provocative drawings of women in secret, a spark of defiance against the suffocating constraints. That lack of warmth, he'd later confess, drove me to chase freedom in every way, emotional, physical, all of it. His 152 IQ didn't translate to stellar grades. Instead, it fueled a vivid imagination. At Sayre Elementary, he penned comic books, casting himself as the daring hero in worlds far bolder than his own. At 16, a heartbreak named Betty shattered him, igniting a transformation. He ditched his old self, adopting the slick nickname Heg, revamping his wardrobe, and pouring his pain into a comic series called School Days in 1942, turning personal wounds into creative fire at Steinmetz High School. Heg's star began to rise. In 1943, he launched the Steinmetz Trumpet, the school paper, doubling as cartoonist and reporter, blending sharp wit with vivid imagery. He sang in the band, joined student council, and thrived in the spotlight, though Betty's betrayal lingered like a scar. His hustle left a mark. In 2010, at 84, he donated $7,500 annually to keep the paper printing in color, and in 2016, he stepped in during a censorship fight, championing student voices. In June 1944, drafted into the Army, Heg trained at Fort Hood, Texas, earning a sharpshooter badge with his M1 rifle but dodging combat thanks to his typing skills. Stationed in Maryland, he chased women in Washington, D.C., and sketched cartoons for military newsletters until 1946. Those quiet years, he later said, kept my dreams alive. Combat might have killed Playboy before it was born. Post-war, Heg stormed the University of Illinois in 1946, studying psychology with minors in creative writing and art, blazing through a degree in 2.5 years. As editor of the campus humor magazine Shaft, he debuted a risque Co-Ed of the Month feature, a bold hint of his future empire. A brief grad school stint at Northwestern in 1949 ended when he wrote a scathing paper against America's sex laws, choosing rebellion over academia. That summer, he studied at the Chicago Art Institute, merging his love for visuals and storytelling. By 1952, Heg was grinding at Esquire for $60 a week. When they refused a $5 raise on August 3rd, he walked away, a gamble that changed everything. Scraping together $600 by mortgaging his furniture and $8,000 from 45 investors, including $1,000 from his hesitant mother, he created Playboy. Legal threats nixed the original name Stag Party, but in his Hyde Park kitchen, Heg birthed a legend. The first issue, launched December 1953, had no date. Heg wasn't sure there'd be a second. For $500, he bought 1,949 nude photos of Marilyn Monroe, pairing them with jazz essays, sports features, and a Sherlock Holmes story. It sold 54,000 copies at 50 cents each, a runaway hit now worth over $100,000 per original copy. Haig's opening editorial declared Playboy entertainment for men, blending fiction, fashion, music, and unapologetic allure. Literary giants like Ray Bradbury joined, and in 1955, Haig published Charles Beaumont's daring story flipping societal prejudices, sparking outrage but cementing his defiance. By then, circulation soared to 100,000 monthly, drawing contributors like Vladimir Nabokov and John Lennon. The U.S. Postal Service tried banning it as obscene. In 1955, Haig fought and won, unlocking full-color printing and rapid growth. In 1963, arrested over Jane Mansfield photos, he faced a hung jury and prevailed. His 1959 TV show Playboy's Penthouse hosted Sammy Davis Jr. and Ella Fitzgerald, defying segregation by mixing black and white guests, a move that got it banned in the South. In 1960, the first Playboy Club opened in Chicago, a keyholder's paradise where satin-clad bunnies served amid luxury. But strict rules, weight limits, appearance mandates meant punishment for noncompliance. By 1961, 132,000 visitors flocked in 3 months. 40 clubs soon spanned London to Jamaica. From 1962 to 1965, Haig penned the Playboy Philosophy, a 250,000-word manifesto on free speech, abortion, and sex laws. Some hailed him as a visionary. Feminists called it a dressed-up excuse for exploitation. Protests grew, with ex-employees exposing degrading rules. In 1971, Haig bought the Holmby Hills mansion for $1.1 million, turning the 1927 Gothic Tudor estate into a hedonistic wonderland. Secret tunnels, a zoo, waterfalls, and the notorious grotto. FBI eyes watched closely during obscenity probes. In 1975, Secretary Bobby Arnstein's suicide amid a drug investigation rocked Haig. He called it a witch hunt. Adrian Pollock's 1973 overdose fueled whispers. The 1980 murder of playmate Dorothy Stratton by her jealous husband sparked blame. Haig's unauthorized nude photo release led to lawsuits from her family. By the 1980s, allegations of assaults, underage exploitation, and drug-fueled coercion surfaced, tied to shadow mansions run by Dr. Mark Siginer, dubbed Dr. Feelgood, for predatory gatherings. But the mansion's basement held the darkest truths. Hidden behind Prohibition-era wine cellars, Haig stored vaults of secret recordings, over 1,000 hours of footage from the late 1970s onward, captured by cameras in bedrooms, the grotto, even the underground gym built in 1978. Former girlfriend Sandra Theodore claimed Haig used revenge porn to control guests, boasting tapes on everyone. Staff described pig nights, where sex workers were filmed as Haig watched, laughing, on live monitors. Blueprints revealed tunnels linking to celebrity homes like Jack Nicholson's, sealed in 1989. A 58-page FBI file, found post 2017, showed Haig under scrutiny since the 1950s for obscenity, with memos to J. Edgar Hoover requesting wiretaps. In 1985, Haig's stroke at 59, linked to stress over Stratton's murder book, prompted selling his $5.5 million Big Bunny jet, a disco-equipped symbol of excess. He claimed to embrace health, quitting smoking, but Viagra fueled his pursuits into his 80s. Playboy's empire faltered. U.S. and UK casinos closed after a 1984 license denial tied to bribery claims. Daughter Christie's 1988 CEO role pivoted to digital. Playboy.com in 1994, the Cyber Club in 1995, and a 2011 iPad archive dodging Apple's rules. The Girls Next Door, 2005, revived Haig's fame, showcasing life with girlfriends Holly, Bridget, and Kendra, but their later accounts exposed control, curfews, hair-bleaching mandates, and emotional manipulation. Crystal Harris's 2024 memoir revealed Heg faking illnesses, back pain, hearing loss, to keep her close, alongside her own battles with Lyme disease and mold poisoning in a decaying mansion. Heg's 2010 foundation donated to film preservation, free speech, and Lyme research, perhaps a bid to soften his legacy. But the 2022 Secrets of Playboy documentary tore the veil, exposing non-consensual recordings, drug stockpiles, 500 quaaludes in drawers, and assaults. Over 10 lawsuits, including a $10 million class action, emerged by 2022, with ex-playmate Susie Krabacher alleging a 1980 assault taped in the basement. Slow, emotional music. Heg's personal life was as turbulent. His 1949 marriage to Millie Williams crumbled after her affair during his Army years. Their 1959 divorce left 2 kids, Christy and David. His 1968 relationship with 18-year-old Barbie Benton led to the Holmby Hills mansion purchase, co-designed by her, but his affairs ended it by 1976. A 1989 marriage to playmate Kimberly Conrad produced sons Marston and Cooper, but they separated by 1998. His 2012 marriage to 26-year-old Crystal Harris, at 86, was marred by her claims of robotic intimacy and strict control. Heg's 2017 death at 91 from E. coli sepsis in the mansion he leased back for $1 million yearly after its $100 million sale closed a chapter. Buried beside Marilyn Monroe, whose crypt he bought for $75,000 in 1992, he tied his legacy to a woman he never met, sparking outrage as posthumous exploitation. Music crescendos, from a repressed boy sketching in secret to a mogul whose empire dazzled and destroyed. Hefner's life was a paradox. He championed freedom but wielded control, built a dream but hid nightmares. The basement vaults, the lawsuits, the silenced voices, they demand we rethink the man behind the bunny. Was he a liberator or a manipulator? A visionary or a villain? His story forces us to confront the cost of fantasy. If this journey shook you, drop a red heart in the comments, hit like, and share. What's the real Hugh Hefner to you? Subscribe for more raw, unfiltered dives into the icons who shaped our world. Who's next? You tell me.